What's up, guys? It's Eric from Rare Candy, and today I'm back with another recorded tournament series. Uh, Myself and Marcus from the channel got to go to a recent league challenge, and this one's actually expanded, and we recorded the whole thing for you guys. There's going to be 4 rounds, and this is going to be the first of them. So on the left, we have Benji Powell playing, I think it's just like a dark deck, Yveltal, Zoroark, all sorts of stuff like that. And on the right, we have Ian Dexter playing Machamp Ariados, if I'm not mistaken here. It's definitely an interesting deck. You don't really see that too often. And it is worth noting, Ian actually thought this was a standard league challenge, so he doesn't have like computer search or anything like that in his list. So he did want me to clarify that for you in case you're wondering where his A spec was. But yeah, so with regionals coming up, some are going to be expanded, so um, it's kind of cool to play in these league challenges, a month or so before regionals. That way you can get some practice and, just see, what people are thinking about playing and maybe help narrow down your deck choice. So it looks like Benji is going to start with an Yveltal EX. It's a Fighting Fury Belt on Dark, Trainer's Mail. So he does have an Ultra Ball and like a Versus Seeker, so you can maybe just grab a supporter that he has there off the Trainer's Mail, discard that with an Ultra Ball. So grabbing a Sycamore, that seems fine. And so at this point, I'm not sure if Benji knows what Ian is playing, so I'm not sure if he knows what he should grab off of this Ultra Ball or not. He might just grab a Shaman potentially and just draw some more cards, but here he'll get rid of Floatstone and Versus Seeker. Okay, that's interesting. I thought he had a dark in hand, so I would have maybe preferred to have seen a dark get discarded, assuming he plays Dark Patch in his list. So here he's going to grab a Shaman. Okay, maybe he didn't have a dark. Oh, he attached it to the Yveltal, I see. So here we're going to see a baby Yveltal hit the board, Ultra Ball those guys, and maybe just grab maybe a Darkrai or something, or a Zorua. Okay, so we'll grab a Darkrai here. And if Benji hits a Max Elixir, he'll be able to, start powering that guy up, or maybe the baby Yveltal even. And here, I think we're just going to see a pass. Yeah, I guess he wants to hang on to that double colorless. So here, Ian's going to discard a Fighting Energy and a Sycamore. So like I said, it should be a Machamp deck. I'm not sure what else he runs in this. I didn't get a chance to play against him at this tournament, so he might have some other tricks up his sleeve I'm not sure of. If I had to guess though, yep, he is going to grab himself a Machamp. So Machamp is kind of an interesting card. If I remember right, it does, what is it? It's mainly used for its second attack. I think it's like 80 plus 80 more if he's affected by like a special condition or something like that. I forget exactly. Hold on. I'm actually going to check this on my phone. So it actually is pretty important to know what this Machamp does. Let's see. I know one of his attacks can confuse him, but beyond that, I kind of forget. And potentially, Ian might be able to actually start attacking this turn. He has a pretty good start. But here he is fighting Fury Belt. I'm surprised he's not playing Heavy Boots, because that's normally the supporter that, uh, or the tool card this Machamp deck would opt for. But so let's see, he does get a double colorless on his Yveltal EX and a Sycamore. Trainer's Mail, maybe he can. Okay, well, he's got a Versus Seeker there, so he can just grab that for next turn potentially. Okay, and I finally found this, the Machamp EX attacks. So first attack Machamp has is for a colorless and fighting does 20 times the number of damage counters on Machamp, and then he is confused. And then Crazy Hammer is the second attack for 2 fighting and a colorless. It does 80 plus 80 more if it's affected by a special condition, and then you remove the special condition. Okay, so yeah, he can poise himself with Ariados and swing for 170, which is actually pretty good because of this Fighting Fury Belt at least. Okay, So the Shaman didn't get knocked out, so he's got to be a little happy about that. Maybe he can find himself a float stone or something to get out of the active spot. I'd imagine he wants to probably get down an Ariados too, or a Spinnerack at least, to start powering that up. And one thing that's interesting about the Yveltal deck, or the Dark deck, is it typically takes 2-hit knockouts, and that can be kind of bad against this Machamp because its first attack can really punish his opponent for 2-hit knockouts because it does so much damage. Um, you know, what we say, 20 times the number of damage counters on Machamp. So yeah, if he even swings for like an Evil Ball or like a Y Cyclone and does around like 120 damage, he's definitely return KOing that EX. So he'll retreat and okay, do 0 damage. So that's interesting. I guess he's probably telling his opponent, "Hey, I dare you to attack into me. If you do, I'm definitely going to return KO you. So you better knock me out in one hit." That's kind of what he's having to say to his opponent here. Here, I like this play. Just retreats into the baby Yveltal and can start softening up with the Oblivion Wing attack. Okay, so here we're going to see an end. Trying to think what else. Benji really wants to get down on his board right now. Maybe like a non-EX attacker because it's looking like he's going to have to trade 2-hit knockouts on this Machamp, whereas Machamp can 1-hit KO it back anytime it attacks into it. So um, it's hard to say. I don't know if I like the prize exchange for the Dark player. So I think it definitely needs some ways to knock out these Machamps in one hit, or go a route like I was saying by attacking with non-EX attackers. Okay, so like we said, we're probably going to see an Oblivion Wing here. It doesn't have any Dark, but it is going to soften up that Machamp a little bit. And definitely better to attack with this baby Yveltal because it only gives it one prize if it gets knocked out, whereas this Yveltal EX would have gotten knocked out and given up 2 prizes. So I definitely like this move on Benji's part here. So what does Ian have to work with here? So Versus Seeker gets an N, and we're just going to see him play it. So he probably wants to get down another Machamp or another attacker of some sort and start powering that up as well. And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to knock out this baby Yveltal. He's going to be 30 short, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, 50 short because of the resistance that it has. But he runs Zoroark in the list, so that's kind of cool. So if he does confuse himself with Machamp's first attack, he can actually get out of the status condition that way. That's interesting. I like that in the deck for sure. And here we see a Silent Lab, which could be kind of pesky because that'll shut off Darkrai's Dark Cloak ability. So here he can just attack for 110. Oh yeah, because of the Fighting Fury belt. Or, oh, 90, yeah, because of the resistance. So here, what does Benji have to work with? A couple Dark Energies, a Versus Seeker. It looks like another Yveltal EX. So, see, if he has a way to bounce the stadium, that would probably be the most ideal. So we might just see another Oblivion Wing, which is okay because that will put this Machamp into 2-shot range now. Or I'm sorry, 1-shot range. My bad, guys. With this Yveltal EX that he has on the bench there. So we're going to see a Sycamore. And here, if he can hit a Zoroark, that actually might be kind of cool. Because I'm sure you would much rather give up a Zoroark than a Machamp as far as prizes. So it looks like he has some options in his hand. It looks like he's taking a minute to decide what he wants to do here. Oh, maybe he's debating if he wants to attack. But here he just passes, it looks like. So here he gets a Dark Energy. Probably going down on Yveltal EX, but maybe you should consider Power Up Darkrai as well, just because if Ian knocks out a big Yveltal and there goes all of his energy, that could be a problem. Okay, so he is going to power up Yveltal and retreat into that guy. And then looks like just probably take a knockout with this Yveltal EX. And that seems pretty good because even if Ian evolves into a Zoroark, he's not going to be able to knock out this Yveltal EX because Zoroark will do 10 plus 30 for all of the bench Pokemon that Benji has. But so that would only do 100 damage. So here we're going to see a Level Ball, probably grab a Spinarak, I would guess, or maybe even another Zorua. But here we're going to see the Spinarak, that seems fine. Okay, and what else does he have to work with? That's the question. So Ninja Boy, oh, okay. That's definitely interesting. So, okay, if he has another energy, uh, Benji could be in trouble. So he'll do 20 times the number of damage counters. So that won't be enough to knock it out. Oh, but he has the strong energy. So what would that be? 180, 190, 210? Oh, it'd be 190 though because of the resistance. That must be so frustrating. But that's cool. He did get the Shaman off the board and back into the deck. But I'd imagine we'll probably just see this Yveltal come up and knock this thing out. But he really needs to get down some more energy this turn. I mean, he does have that double Colress on the benched Yveltal EX. So here we're going to see a Zorua. I like that. And Super Rod, probably get that break back in the deck he just discarded. Maybe some energy. So let's see here. Even though Benji is about to take the prize lead, or continue his prize lead, I should say, um, his board isn't the most developed just yet. So we're going to see an Evil Ball. Okay, and only problem now is he does have a full bench, so Ian could potentially evolve into Zoroark and start cleaning up that way. So we're going to see an N, putting Benji all the way down at 2 cards, if I'm not mistaken. So he had a pretty massive hand right before that end, so that's never something you want to see if you're in Benji's spot. Luckily, I shouldn't say luckily, but luckily Ian does get six cards, but that does mean he is behind at the moment. But here he does hit that Zoroark, which is nice, and he really probably wants another Pokemon on the bench as well. So discarding the Strong Energy and Lysander, maybe grabbing another Machamp, or maybe another Zorua. I'm not sure what all he plays. Okay, so he's going to grab an Ariados. Okay, and take a knockout here. And I forget what's in Benji's hand, but he'd probably promote this Yveltal EX if I had to guess. Oh, and he doesn't really have much to work with here. He just has to pass. So this is definitely the power of N. Definitely great for making these types of late game comebacks. I mean, Ian's not completely out of the woods just yet because he won't be able to take a knockout on this Yveltal EX. But if he can just Shaman, or I'm sorry, like Lysander Shamans and like damage Pokemon the rest of the game, he'll be okay. But even still, does Benji have anything to work with yet again? So here we see a Zorua hit the board, and if he just has to pass again, that'll be pretty rough, I'd have to say. So it looks like he's just debating. Yeah, he's going to retreat into a Zorua just because it gives up one prize. But even still, I mean, if you're in Ian spot, I mean, I don't even know if you really need Lysander. You can be content with just mind jacking every turn for a knockout. And he does have a Shaman in his hand, but the Silent Lab is still in play. He does. Oh, okay. So that's no one caught this apparently at the tournament, but he actually can't Silent Lab because of. Okay, it looks like they are catching this now, and he's going to fix that. Just shuffle his deck back up. Luckily, this is only a league challenge, so these players seem pretty okay with what's going on. They're not going to rule shark each other too much here. But here we're just going to see a stand-in with Zoroark because it doesn't get affected by Silent Lab because it's an evolution and not a basic Pokemon. So here we see a Zoroark come down. But unfortunately, he still doesn't have anything to work with, though. And I have to say, at this point, Ian might have it. I mean, it looked like he was in such a bad spot, down 2 to 6 prizes, but um, that N has really hurt Benji hard here. So an Ultra Ball just getting rid of Faded Town. It's an interesting supporter or interesting stadium we don't see too often. So grabbing a Shaman, probably just to thin it out of his deck so he doesn't draw into it later. And Sycamore, okay, yeah, that's cool too. You can just discard it. Here we'll see a Fighting Energy come down on Machamp and the Fighting Fury Belt. So, I mean, really at this point, I don't think there's anything else you can really do here because no matter what, Machamp can take a knockout. But he just has to pass, so yeah, Machamp, he can just retreat. Oh, yeah, or just Lysander, whichever. So here we see a surprise comeback actually from Ian Dexter with this Machamp Ariados deck here. Taking down, the big bad dark deck that's always been, pretty decent, historically speaking. I will say this, I thought it was interesting. I didn't see any Dark Patch in Benji's deck, so maybe he was just opting for a heavy count of Max Elixir instead. I guess I'm not sure. I didn't see everything in his deck, but definitely an interesting matchup there. Machamp is not a deck you see too often. So I believe we also have another game with this Machamp deck later on in the third or fourth round, if I'm not mistaken. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, we have 4 rounds of this tournament that we're going to upload, and we should have one up every day for the next couple days. But yeah, guys, that is the first round. Like I said, I appreciate you guys watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our merchandise over at rarecandytcg.com if you want to get yourself a playmat or something to help support the channel. That'd mean a lot. But with that, guys, I appreciate you watching, and we will see you for the next one, okay?